Hello, darling. This is River Roaring, celebrating the luminous life force in us all. Hello, darling. I'm River Roaring, and this episode is a holiday goodie. It's called it's called Sexual Energy Checklist Holiday Edition. I thought I'd drop a goodie for you for this holiday season, and this is a little checklist for sexual energy and sexual experience so that you possibly might create some juicier experiences for yourself this holiday season. And I'm sure you use a lot of these techniques and tips already, and that's awesome. So let this be just a little checklist in case it's helpful. I hope it serves. So to create a space for your sexual energy cultivation this holiday season, I have a few things on the checklist to think about. This applies whether you're solo or partnered, because cultivating our sexual energy is really important when we're not partnered. It's essential. Our sexual energy is our most powerful force in our body. It is our most powerful life force. So for me to feel like I'm being fully whole as a human being, I want to also cultivate that powerful force inside me. For me to feel like I'm being an authentic human being in the world, I don't feel like I could do that if I leave out this powerful part of myself. So cultivating my sexual energy, even if I'm not with a partner, these tips apply. And if you are with a partner, they also apply. It can be done either way, and it's important either way. So for me, I want to be fully authentic in all realms, including sexually sovereign. So here are a quick checklist. Of course, everything is optional, and I'm sure you'll use this checklist, if at all, to create your own special blend of deliciousness. So the first thing on my checklist is exquisite presence. For this one, I invite you to create a relaxed, safe space, both outside of you and inside of you. Relaxed, safe space. I define safe and safety as a relaxed nervous system inside the body. I'm putting this on the checklist because today it's truly an art form to achieve a relaxed nervous system in this current culture we're in. We're in Kali Yuga. We're in the most possibly difficult moments of human history with all the craziness around us. So it's truly becoming an art form, but never more important to be able to come to a relaxed nervous system. So that's a whole nother topic on its own of how to do that. And we work with that a lot in my weekend workshop, because I cannot access my presence, my connection with others in presence, my learning, my growing, or my creativity, or my deepest primordial desire if I'm not in a relaxed nervous system. So that's a lot of things that are out of access. And a lot of the sexual images around us in this culture, the songs, the porn, a lot of them are activated nervous system. And that is not a space that can create all of this exquisite presence. So number one on the checklist is not actually small, but it's awesome and important and fundamental to a nourishing sexual energy flow. Part of the relaxed space is number 2 on the checklist, quieting the mind, entering the liminal space in my mind. So number 2 is quieting my mind. Again, this is worth a whole podcast episode on its own. But for now, number 2 on my checklist is quieting the mind. Number 3, relaxed, deep breathing. So you might check in on your breathing. Can I relax it more, deepen it more to my most comfortable, relaxed breathing? And let's not forget about the breathing. Breathing powers chi, our sexual energy. Some say the breath is our chi. In pranayama, the breath is chi. So can't ignore the breath. Number 4, visuals like flowers, adornment on my body, sacred clothing that I love, colors and textures on my body in clothing that I love or around the room, hanging some scarves around the room as I like, whatever I like the most, the colors, the textures, the adornments on my body, flowers, beautiful things around. The next thing on the checklist is smells. For me, I really love incense. Lots of different beautiful incenses. So smell, what's going on with smell? Right now, I'm sitting next to an open window after rain, and cool, delicious air is coming in, and that alone is the smell of the most delightful incense. So pay attention to smell. The next on the list, on my checklist for you, is taste. A lot of people like a really nourishing chocolate, fruit, nuts to be handy and nearby for taste. I really love natural red wine, actual real red wine made with grapes and fermented. The actual real red wine that's natural. Oh yeah, I love that taste. So have tastes around you that are delightful to you. Next on the list, sexy sound. Don't forget about sound. Again, right now, I'm noticing nature sounds. They're awesome. I also have lots of soundtracks on my devices that turn me on, that nourish me. That might be a slow sound, might be a faster sound. It's what nourishes you, what you find most delicious. Don't forget about sound. The next thing on my list is sanctity, sacrament, and the sacred. This one is really special to me because I feel like so often in this current world we're in, sexuality is dealt with and talked about without its spiritual element. And so often also it's easy to find spiritual community, spiritual teachers who won't talk about sex. And to me, these two are together. And so when I'm creating my own sexual experiences, what is it that I find sacred? How am I creating sanctity? How am I treating this experience as a sacrament? That's a really beautiful part of sexual energy cultivation. If I am with myself, am I able to even experience myself as the divine? Could I bring that much sacred and that much sanctity into the room where I experience myself as the divine? If I'm with a partner, can I look at them and see only the divine in them? This one is such an important part of sexual energy, bringing in your version of the divine and mixing it with your sexual cultivation so that you're finding that bridge to unification with all that is. The next checklist item is sweet words. Sweet words to self, sweet words to your other or others, whoever's with you for your sexual experience. And maybe these sweet words are with your guides in the unseen world who are with you, who you've called in to bring in your sacred space. Sweet words, words that nourish, that cultivate desire and deliciousness to you. The next on my checklist is to get in touch with your touch sensations. It's easy for me and all of us, because we're subtly coached in this culture, to experience all of our desire, all of our excitement, and all of our sexual experience also with the external, to be focused on the external. That's what porn is. You put on the pictures, and the pictures are creating the pleasure in me. This item on the checklist is flipping that, so that I am experiencing the sensations in my body as pleasure, as I touch myself, as I touch my partner, rather than being focused on anything outside of my body at all. In those moments where we're connecting skin to skin, where I'm connecting with myself skin to skin, or with my partner or partners skin to skin, in those moments, I really go inside and feel and experience the physical sensations in my body. A lot of people they're not used to thinking about even physical sensations. Physical sensations, I mean a warmth in my pussy, a tingle in my belly, a expansion in my heart. These are physical sensations. We all have our own special mix. So this item on the checklist is to experience physical sensations when you're touching inside your body, and let pleasure ripple inside your body. The focus is your body's pleasure, not what's outside of you. And that one is worth almost basically a whole weekend workshop. All these things I'm talking about, we're pretty much diving into the tough ones in the weekend workshop that I offer. So this item on the checklist it's not small, it's big. Experience pleasure through the physical sensations in your body. And the next item on the checklist is allowing bliss and pleasure to rise inside my body while I stay relaxed. That's another art form. That's another piece that we go into deeply in the weekend workshop. How do I raise the bliss in my body without becoming nervous system activated and staying nervous system relaxed while more and more pleasure builds up? So on this item on the checklist is raising bliss and pleasure in my body while maintaining a nice, relaxed nervous system. Again, this is something that is somewhat foreign if you're mostly used to watching porn, mainstream porn, and it's an art form. And again, in the weekend workshop, we practice that art form, literally practice it. We learn about it, share about it, and then we practice it. Raising the bliss inside a very relaxed body and having those go together and both rise at the same time. The next item on my checklist is riding the waves of arousal, meaning through the art form of raising pleasure inside my body while staying relaxed, I'm able to learn how to titrate the pleasure rising and falling in my body so that it doesn't just shoot out of me in the first few minutes. If you know what I mean. So the female body has orgasm in certain ways, the male body has orgasm in certain ways, and one art of sexual cultivation is learning how in your own body to let the pleasure waves rise high almost to the point of the orgasm, and then yourself creating a cooling effect in your body so that you come down from the high waves of arousal before orgasm, cooling down. Maybe it's about touching slower or not at all. Maybe it's about deep breathing. There are lots of, this is another art form. There are many techniques about how to do this, but the next item on the checklist is ride those waves of arousal rather than wiping out on the first wave. An orgasm I'm calling wipeout. Orgasm's awesome. I like to celebrate every single one no matter what. And even in my female body, in the male body, there's many ancient art forms that are text and written about riding the waves of arousal. They're called so many different things, but that's not letting the ejaculation occur before you have several waves of arousal, maybe many, many waves before you let the ejaculation occur. In the female body, I've noticed, even though it isn't written about as much, in my own body, I can achieve a higher and higher and higher wave of arousal if I don't let myself wipe out on the top of the first wave. In fact, a little digression here is that in the ancient Taoist texts, they used to talk about battles, the battle of the sexual experience. It's very interesting. I like it. The battle's not about killing. The battle is which partner can last the longest without wiping out at the top of the wave. Which partner can last the longest without orgasm. Because the waves, if you can ride it and come back down, the next one is, in my experience, higher. And if I can ride that one and come back down, the next one's even higher. And so in ancient Taoist lore, the emperor and the concubine would be in a battle to see who was the last to orgasm. That would be the winner of the battle. Personally, I really like it. And I also don't agree with killing and hurting each other and like war themes. But it's pretty. If you have to have a war theme, that's my favorite. For sure. Ride the waves of arousal. The next item on my list is related to riding the waves of arousal. It's cooling the body, cooling the sexual energy instead of exploding. I made it a separate item on the checklist because cooling is an art form all by itself. How to bring my body down from high states of arousal without wiping out at the top of the wave in the orgasm. Again, I love orgasm. I'm just saying that for me, I love even more seeing how high the waves of arousal can get, one after another, one after another, one after another, and achieving a longer period of time of higher states of arousal before any wiping out at the top of the wave. So cooling instead of exploding or wiping out at the top of the wave is an art form. So on the checklist is cultivating your cooling practice so that you can come back down and catch the next wave. We're getting toward the end of this checklist. The next item is try something brand new. do something you've never done before. In this state of divine, cultivated, sacred space and bliss and arousal, for me, it's natural that new things happen. Like, oh, I never even thought of doing this, but it feels awesome. So try something new. Let it just unfold. A lot of times this item, trying something new, is more about stepping out of the way of blocking when something new comes through as an idea or a urge. So if I have an urge to do something really wild and different, don't block it. Let it happen. Do the new thing. Be creative. Tiny, tiny example is that I used to self-pleasure always lying down. And then one day I'm like, wait a minute, what if I stood up? It's such a simple example, but it's something new happened, brand new. Lots of new things happened from that, allowing myself to do the new thing that I had the sudden urge to do. So do it. When you have an urge to try something new, try it. Let new things unfold. And final thing on my checklist for you for the holiday season is a bonus, big bonus, if you incorporate holiday themes. So whether it be in your sexual fantasy, bring in a holiday theme just for fun and something new. I haven't done a lot of this yet, but when it came through, when I was making this checklist, I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds pretty fun. This sounds really interesting. I had all of a sudden like, wait a minute, there's Santa Claus, there's Santa Claus's wife, there's the reindeer, there's so many pieces of this. They're all the elves. Oh my goodness. What a playland. So bring holiday themes in as a bonus. Fantasizing about holiday themes, teasing one another if you're with a partner about holiday themes, maybe even role play. And role play can be with props or without props. So it doesn't take props to role play. You can role play, hey, let's play like I'm Santa Claus right now. I'm bringing the gifts. Or you could also go all out and get some props. Get a Santa Claus hat. Even go to the thrift store and find some cool reindeer antler hat or something, you know. So role play can be with or without props, but for a bonus, bring in holiday themes to your sexual cultivation and sexual experience at this season. So that's the end of our checklist, my darling. I hope you found this helpful, interesting. I hope it serves you in some way, not just in the intellectual sense. I hope you experience some new things this holiday season in your sexual cultivation journey. Remember, your sexual energy is the most powerful life force within your body. Include your body. Include your body in your holiday season. Include your sexuality in your spiritual practice. Learn how to blend those together if you haven't already been doing that. Include spirituality in your sexual practice. I feel like my sexuality is not whole without the spiritual side of it. That's the wholeness of my sexuality. It's sacred and sexual. And I also believe my spiritual practice it's not whole without including my sexuality and my body and my sexual experience in my spiritual practice. So I hope you have a lot of fun balancing your animal and your spirit essence. See if you can experience unity with all there is this holiday season. What could be a more delicious and fabulous holiday treat for you and your partner if you have a partner, or your partners if you have partners. I pray that this holiday version of Sexual Energy Cultivation Checklist serves you. because I'm on earth to support those who are called to bring maximum love and light into their lives. Liberated self-expression in all realms, where all is sacred. Connecting with you to create a cosmic web of love and light throughout the realms. And I want to hear from you. Please leave me a comment in any social media where you find this. Please review the podcast with high stars in iTunes and Spotify. Please follow on iTunes and Spotify. And please just shoot me an email. You can visit my website at riverroaring.com. Click on Get Started or Connect to share your question, reflection, or insight, and I will respond to you. And I want to know your reflections about this podcast and what you want to hear more of. Because together we can step into a more harmonious vibration. We can fly higher, shifting human consciousness forever for the highest good of all beings. So, my darling, for the holidays, may the love be with you, and may the love be with us all.